let's talk about distracted guitar practice. That's a big time waster. We're going to try and make sure that our practices are as productive as possible, because none of us have a lot of time. I have very little time to practice. And when I do, I want to make sure I'm getting something out of it. So what's the first part of this? And that stop letting technology steal your valuable focus. And my brain just went in 5 different directions, because for me, technology, I'm surrounded with technology right now. I could very easily stop the recording and, check everything, check my email, check my phone, see if I text, check all those things. And I would not be here giving you the things that you need. When you're practicing, technology will steal your focus. Your phone, in particular, it's a needy attention sponge. Think about it. Everything in that phone wants your attention, and it wants to distract you in as many ways that it can. So when you sit down to practice with your phone, notifications off. In fact, phone in the other room if you don't need it to practice with. I know a lot of us practice with the computer on. It's a great tool, and the phone. More and more people are finding apps that will help them practice with the phone. When you do that, when you practice with the computer or you practice with the phone, just know you're walking on the edge. You're at the edge of, you're at the edge of the cliff. And at any moment, you've got a device who wants your attention. And like I said, in many different ways. So before you sit down to practice, when you get your practice space set up, which we talk about that a lot, and we're going to talk about that a lot more this year too. When you get your practice space set up, how technology can just derail you from practice should be at the forefront of how you get things set up and what you use. I love to use, I don't know if you can see it in this shot here, I love to use the old-timey metronomes. Why? Because I used to use my phone as a metronome. Free app, right? It's easy. Bam. Well, before you know it, I'm checking stuff. I'm on Instagram or Facebook, or I'm checking my messages. Don't need that. There's time for that somewhere else. Not when I'm practicing. Social media, just mentioned that. Its goal is to monopolize your attention. It's not needy. It's grabbing your attention. Let's stop dwelling on what's next with the guitar. Focus is what we need. Even though we're working on something that may not be the most fun thing, we're going to try to focus on that and not think about what the next thing is coming. And also it happens in learning parts of songs that you're not interested in. Your mind starts to wander. So if we can get a practice time where we're dedicated and focused and paying attention to what we're doing instead of thinking what the next thing is, or what else would I like to learn? How about the gear rabbit hole? So if I know for me, in fact, doing this podcast, I'm using a lot of new gear. We're doing things a little bit differently. I was supposed to record this yesterday. Getting the gear to work took me all day yesterday. Now, hopefully, each week as I do this podcast now, everything's going to be a little bit more streamlined. But going down the gear rabbit hole, it can take you very far away from your desired outcome. Also, fear. Fear can derail you from spending the time it takes to jump to the next level. I don't want to do this. Why? Well, I might get better. That's a strange fear. The fear of actually getting better. Why? Because that means you might have to get out in front of somebody and work on something, play something for someone. And they may like it. They might not. And what are you going to do about that? Maybe you won't like the way you play. So getting fear, those are things you can work on. Finding one person you're comfortable with and playing what you've been working on for them, it's a step in the right direction. Also, your physical surroundings can cause you to waste precious practice times. Make sure your room or your practice space is set up the same way every time. This is the most important thing. If you're searching around for your guitar, you're searching around for your picks. Before you know it, you're off track, you're not focused anymore, and the time that you had is gone. But it's also mental energy, worrying about all these things when your mental state, as far as learning and getting into some good repetition, it can mess everything up. How about others? Being distracted from others or worrying about that you're annoying someone, that will take you out of the zone. I always make sure that any practice space that I have the ability to play out into the room where the way I like to play, or to practice with headphones if possible. And I can have a door shut. So even the sound of my guitar that's not turned on doesn't bother anyone as well. So if I know I'm not bothering anyone, then I can focus on what I'm doing. If you find your mind wandering during practice, you might want to rethink your setup. You might have, I always talk about, getting some things that inspire you to play. But if you're always looking at the artwork or your collection of those things, that may not be a good place to practice. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you are really ready to stop wasting time and get moving, I have a free gift for you. It's my free mini course called Get Moving Guitar, and you can get it by clicking the link below in the description. I'm so glad you're here. And if you'd like to support the podcast and get more of this content that is actually designed to help you become the guitarist that you've always wanted to be, sign up for my VIP supporter program. And for as little as $3 a month, you get access to the private VIP podcast. I will see you soon in the next video.